Ferris crashing the boards, 11 rebounds. There are 2 of her 17. The Wave now 13-3, 82-49, the final score. Perry Clark and the men haven't played since they beat UNO on Tuesday. They would like to carry that momentum into tomorrow's nationally televised game against Temple.
Playing against UNO, we did some real great things as a team, and hopefully as a team we learn from these things, and we should carry those things onto this game.
When we had our chances to hit some against UNO, we knocked them down, gave ourselves a working margin, and used our defense to save it instead of try to win it for us, and that's a big difference.
Tomorrow's game against Temple is at the Superdome. They'll tip it off at 1. Roe Brown will have the highlights right here at 5. At Booker T. Washington High School, Cohen's Dino Daniels to Chris Holmes. Cohen up by 4. Lions running the floor. On the opposite end, Jawan Morn. It's jam time. Edwin Daniels hits a 3. Cohen wins big. They're 21-2, 78-46, the final score. The Pittsburgh Steelers are back in the Super Bowl for the first time since after the '79 season. The franchise, which has never lost this game, has a simple philosophy for keeping it that way.
Bottom line in this business is finding ways to win. We've been a very, very resourceful team and been a team that hasn't overreacted to situations but have responded to them. And I just can't see that type of attitude changing now.
And just because you don't have the emblem of a big-name school on your helmet doesn't mean you can't play for the big money. Here's Roe Brown. Poetry in motion is the swing of Ted Williams and the hang time of Julius Erving. But in my mind, neither compares to a floating Muhammad Ali. Ali in Cuba, always entertaining, but then trading some punches with Cuba's greatest fighter, Teofilo Stevenson. Muhammad Ali donating $500,000 worth of medical supplies and medication to Cuba's treatment of Parkinson's disease. I can watch him for a long time. That's one of my biggest thrills since I've had this, been doing this type of work. I was able to meet Ali 3 years ago, and I was speechless. I just didn't know what to say.
He was something to watch. Now, what about the nasty-mouthed football players who are refusing to apologize for using profane language?
Well, I'll tell you what, Michael Irvin's mom's on him, big time. But you're right, that uncalled for, national television, the emotion of a game, but still no reason for it.
Yeah, so. well, both of those guys, from the Steelers and the Cowboys, the only bowl they belong in is the toilet bowl.
Agreed.
All right, Bob. Well, still ahead, lots of music and
to keep fighting, to keep moving forward. Where do you find the hope to keep on living?
More coaching changes?
Yes, Saints fans believe they have it bad. Well, in Tampa, they haven't had a winning season since 1982.
Yes, the Saints fans forget that we used to be that way.
Yeah, so they're going to try to fix it with yet another new head coach. This time, former Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator Tony Dungy is the new head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, there are reports, he's the #1 guy there, that Dungy is considering adding Saints linebacker coach Jim Haslett to his staff. Now, Dungy won't confirm it because he's going through the proper channels, and Haslett is not commenting. All right, the Tulane women have won 6 of their last 7. They are now 14-3, and in today's new college basketball poll, they are ranked 41st in the country, undefeated. Louisiana Tech is still #1. And just in case there is a lull in the dinner conversation tonight, feel free to use this one. And as one writer penned after the bout, Joe Frazier hasn't been handled like this since he was a baby. 1 week after Martin Luther King's birthday, this community buried another unfulfilled dream. Roe Brown has the story.
Toby Ray Donato was captain of the basketball team at Kennedy High School last season. Tuesday, he left for Mesa College in San Diego, where he hoped to earn a basketball scholarship. Just about 24 hours after arriving in Southern California, while playing a pickup game at this recreational center, Toby Donato died of an apparent heart attack.
Everyone was crazy about him, the coach, the assistant coach, and he just fit right in, and they couldn't wait to do whatever they could to get him settled into school.
Kennedy High School basketball coach Brian Gibson talked to Toby the day he left for California.
And that's what he said, Coach. I just want to go there and do the best that I can. So when I come back, everybody be proud.
He was an everyday young person who wanted to go to college and play basketball, trying to do the right things, striving to accomplish his goals and dreams, proving those types still exist.
He had gotten an opportunity to go after this goal by going to Mesa, and that's what he did, you know. And he got there. Just didn't complete it.
And you can count me among the many who is wishing they'd hit the trifecta that paid over $13,000 today. And we will take you out to the fairgrounds tonight at 6. Rich Lenz visits with Commander's Palace. So Rich is out, I guess not talking to the horses, but checking up on them.
Across town. So if you're looking for sizzling stir-fry sensations, right now, Applebee's is pouring in.
Channel 6 News closed captioning is sponsored in part by Wendy's.
Bob Alvarez joins us for sports. Get out your pen and paper. It's going to be a trivia night, right?
Yes, I've had the opportunity to work with two legendary coaches, Bob Knight at Indiana and this gentleman at Texas El Paso. And I'm going to tell folks something that not a lot of people are aware of. He may not have the name recognition of a guy like Bob Knight or Dean Smith, but Don Haskins is one of the game's winningest college basketball coaches. The Bear has been coaching at Texas El Paso for 35 years. You may not know that in 1966, he led the first all-black team to a national championship with a victory over Kentucky. Tomorrow, he will face his toughest challenge when he undergoes heart bypass surgery. Doctors expect a full recovery for the Bear. Now, the only thing sliding with the Atlanta Hawks is their mascot. The team is hot. Stacey Augmon, it's going to be jam time. Atlanta beats the Houston Rockets. Atlanta has won 8 games in a row. Top-ranked and unbeaten Louisiana Tech at number 4, Tennessee. Tech scoring, leading 55-52 with 10 minutes remaining. But Shamik Holdsclaw leads Tennessee with 23. The Lady Vols are going to tie it up at 63, then hit their free throws and go on to win by 5. Final score, 77-72. Tennessee is 17-3. For the 5th time in 12 years, the Buccaneers are introducing a new head coach. The burden of producing this franchise's first winning season in 14 years now belongs to that guy, Tony Dungy. The former Minnesota defensive coordinator will now assemble his staff. Today, Dungy said he is, quote, anxious to speak to Saints linebackers coach Jim Haslett. Word is he will replace Rusty Tillman as the Buccaneers' new defensive coordinator. It's certainly a promotion I doubt Haslett would turn down, considering he's only guaranteed 1 more year with the Saints, and Dungy was given a 6-year contract. Well, given the floods and the temperatures, leaving Pittsburgh for Phoenix is a great move. Steelers fans agree, the transplants and the diehards at the airport starting their party, which has at least one Steeler thinking about fun and curfews.
Curfew gradually diminishes on us. It starts at, I think, 1 and goes down to like 12 to 11 to 10 to 9, and you're in bed by 5 on game day.
I don't think that applies to us. We will be in Phoenix, and you can join us beginning Thursday. Well, Rich Lenz spent the morning mingling with the mayors, and we join him at the fairgrounds.
Sports.
I would think so. That's sports.
All right, maybe 5 oats.
There you go.
Okay, come on. Still ahead, people buy lottery tickets to win money, but to see a trial in a small Mississippi town? Well, that story when we come back.
Yeah, it's a time of year when opportunities become available, so you take them. Saints defensive assistant Steve Trimble is leaving the team basically to go find another job. While after coaching for 1 year, Frank Warren has decided he wants to continue his 13-year playing career, but the Saints say he won't be wearing a Saints uniform. Shanda Rubin needed 3 hours and 33 minutes to beat Arancha Sanchez Vicario. It is the longest match in the history of the Australian Open. Well, one season, Wilt Chamberlain hit just 38% of them. A couple of weeks ago, an NBA team missed all of them. Is it the toughest shot in basketball?
Hakeem goes to the line, 0 for 2 from the free throw line today.
Although it's only 15 feet from the basket, this line is the most intimidating spot on the court. Players will toe the charity line to shoot free throws. A better misnomer may not exist.
I think you have to be able to gather yourself and be focused for the moment.
That might be one solution to making what is supposed to be golf's version of the gimme. What everyone can agree upon is that hitting free throws involves the proper mechanics,
Elbow straight, shoulder square,
and a positive attitude.
I'm saying knock these free throws down because that's 2 extra points.
But what if you can't get your mechanics and your focus together? Where would you go for help?
The man you're looking at is indeed the best free throw shooter ever to touch a basketball.
73-year-old Tom Amberry holds the record, 2,750 in a row without a miss. And when he's talking free throws, it's like E.F. Hutton. You listen.
I bounce it 3 times, put my hand in the proper position, bend the knees, elbow in. I look up at the rim and shoot and follow through.
2,749. All right, to tie the record, 2,750.
And we'll never know. Because you won't say.
No, I won't.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. We have some breaking information now on the investigation of the death of the Tulane police officer and the hit-and-run incident over the weekend. Let's go back to Cheryl Keck with the latest on that. Cheryl?
Heath, just moments ago we learned that Josh Gimpelstaub, a Tulane University student, is now facing a charge of negligent homicide in the death of Sergeant Gilbert Mass. We also learned from his defense attorney, retired Judge Jerome Winsberg, that he is a sophomore from New Jersey and a member of the Tulane tennis team. His defense attorney described him as a very good student from a very good family. We did get some comments from his defense attorney. If we can roll those comments and let you hear what he had to say.
He's distraught, he's depressed, and it's a terrible experience. You can't compare with what happened to the family of Sergeant Mass, but this has devastated this family. These are very, very fine people. They're not from here, and they're here, and they're trying to support him, and it's a terrible tragedy all the way around.
And at this point, all involved are headed over to the magistrate's office and over to court to try and set bond. Again, the charge is negligent homicide. At this point, his defense attorney will not give us very many details in terms of who was in the car. He will not confirm witnesses' reports that there was indeed another person in the car. He also isn't saying exactly why it took Josh Gimpelstaub so long to turn himself into police. The only explanation we've been able to gather from his defense attorney is that he was frightened and scared of all that might be facing him or that might be ahead of him, and that's why it took so long. As we mentioned in our earlier report, the black Jeep Cherokee police was...
New Orleans. Girlfriends, boyfriends, babies, boomers. Deceivers, believers. Montel brings us together.
The Montel Williams Show, weekdays at 4, only on Channel 6.
6 News Closed Captioned is brought to you in part by your local Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Time in sports with Bob Alvarez, and the LSU Tigers basketball team continue to play like Cubs.
They should have whooped this team tonight.
Should have.
Yeah, illustrates the trouble this team is in. They did win, but it shouldn't have been this close, Norman. Tonight, the Tigers hosting Nicholls State. And on the board, you'll see an 86-69 victory. Tigers thankful for a 17-4 run in the second half. Meanwhile, the ladies fell by 1 to Arkansas. Well, 2 of the Saints coaches resigned today for different reasons. Defensive assistant Steve Trimble is simply looking for a better job, while Frank Warren wants to play again. Following a 13-year career, Frank tried coaching, but after 1 season of teaching, he'd rather climb back into the trenches. Jim Morris says it won't be with the Saints. Well, the computer that has successfully picked the last 4 Super Bowl winners, says it will be the Cowboys over the Steelers 45-44. But Steelers fans know the computer doesn't know about Cordell Stewart. And while we don't know how much he will be throwing the ball on Sunday, you can bet he will be catching it plenty.
The thing that surprised me the most is how soft his hands are. He catches the ball extremely well, and he finds a way to get open.
And we are heading west the day after tomorrow. We will begin our reports right here Thursday night at 10. A brief break from the serious football to let you know the swimsuit issue will be available tomorrow. Back to the serious stuff. Today, Tigers landed Leesville running back Cecil Collins. He is going to LSU and should fill the team's need for a fullback. 2 streaks on the line tonight in the NBA. They belong to Orlando and Chicago. The Magic trying to make it 21-0 at home. Dennis Scott hitting the threes, and then Shaq going to get free inside. Watch this. One-handed jam time. Magic 21-0 at home, 105-90 the final. Now the Chicago Bulls in New York. Connie Stevens, right? Yeah, she's at the game tonight, watching who else? Michael Jordan hit. Then Jordan gonna put a move on, get free, and it's jam time for Michael. Bulls beat the Knicks by 20. Now let's check out some high school basketball. Perry Clark watching the action tonight. Eretz Leon Mitchell to Kenneth Forges for the bucket. West Jeff comes back. Trevon Dawson with the drive. Eretz Jero Jones with 22. And the final score, Eretz 92-63 over West Jeff. They go to 6-0 in the district. There were plenty of tired Australians after this match. Chanda Rubin in the near court keeps fans watching for an Aussie Open record, 3 hours and 33 minutes. It was worth it. Rubin advancing with a victory over Arantxa Sanchez Vicario.
I feel really good right now, a little bit tired, but, you know, I feel great about winning the match and hanging in there. There's just a lot of positives.
I think she's a great player, and it's not that I lost. I think that we both play our best, and finally, you know, she beat me.
Well put. The record for the most consecutive free throws made is 2,750. Today, at the New Orleans Athletic Club, I tried to better the mark, and through the magic of editing, it looks like I was well on my way. Actually, about 2 in a row was all that I had in me, but form looks good with a lot of practice.
You keep trying,
I could get 10 in a row,
you
maybe.
Just keep
yes,
trying.
Yes, I do.
One
of these days.
A glutton for punishment.
Yeah, sometimes.
All right, Bob. Still ahead, how can a newly discovered masterpiece be more than 500 years old? An amazing story from the art world when we come back.
Jim Reeves, Patsy Cline, Tennessee Ernie, Marty Rudd.
You gotta climb every scale of mountains.
Every song in this special collection will lift your spirits.
I saw the light, I saw the light, no more
30 of the
darkness,
most treasured gospel recordings ever.
When the road
But this legendary collection is not in stores.
May the good Lord bless and keep you.
Please stay tuned to order Country Gospel now.
Amazing grace, how sweet.
Call 1-800-921-6655 to save all COD charges and pay only $16.98 for cassettes or $19.98 for 2 CDs, plus $3.50 shipping. Use your credit card or send check or money order to Country Gospel, P.O. Box 4231, Department S2, Laurel, Mississippi. Remember, save all COD charges by sending check or money order or use your credit card.